Welcome to this week's Perspective. Glad to be back in the studio with everybody. We've got some fun things to talk about today. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back in here and to talk through a couple things, give some updates on some numbers.
Yeah,
kind of check in with everybody.
Lots happening. I saw some articles the last couple of days. Yesterday, Bloomberg had an article saying their new financial model is now saying it's 100% chance. I've never seen this. It's 100% chance that we will have a recession, which it's debatable because there's a lot of people saying based on the market, we're already in a recession. But Bloomberg, 100% chance that it's going to happen.
It's weird how they have all these different definitions for it, like 2 quarters in a row with a GDP drop. We've already had that, but then they're saying like that didn't count. I feel like we're already in one, and the reality is most analysts are predicting that it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, so there's this term called like stagflation. There's just like kind of some new financial things. It's fun to start learning about it. I guess it's just trying to understand how it's going to affect us. You know, for a lot of people listening in, and a lot of people early in their careers, they've never experienced anything but growth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The younger generation, that's really, I mean, we've had a couple dips here and there, but nothing substantial. So it definitely begs the question of what does a full on recession bring, and what does that mean to me on an individual level? What does it mean to consumers that we're selling a solar product to? And I think it's a good topic of conversation for us to have on the Perspective. You know, our mission statement as a business, the mission of 42, to help our people build wealth so that they can live a life of purpose. Talking about these kind of things ultimately really matter as you're trying to go navigate something new, right? And one, I want to say something, but I have to say this first. I would never be excited or look forward to a recession. They're so scary, and depending on how bad it gets, the amount of people that get hurt and financially devastated by a recession far outweighs any benefits that are there. But this is the next point I want to make. The reality is we work in an industry where it's fairly resilient to economic declines or the boom or bust. Like it's very resilient. And the fact that you can go into a recession type environment and have an opportunity to make the kind of money that you make in solar just opens up a world of opportunity from a wealth building opportunity, right?
Yes, I want to point out a couple things that's going to age both of us a little bit. You were in the door-to-door space in 2008 when we saw the housing crash.
Yep.
I was not in the door-to-door space. I was in a place where I was reliant on consumers coming to me, people coming to me for business. You were in the door-to-door space where you were going to the consumer's home. Mm-hmm. Now, regardless of however you look at that, like when you're the headhunter, there are buyers out there, right? So if for me, I'm sitting around waiting for the phone to ring. At the time, I had like, I don't know, $15,000 ads in Yellow Pages.
Sure.
And the phone just stopped ringing.
Yep.
Right? It wasn't ringing anymore.
Yep.
And for you weren't waiting for the phone to ring. You were out pounding on the door, which to me is kind of what gets to the resiliency side of that.
Yeah. 2008, 2009 were some of the best years we ever had, right in the middle of all of this stuff crumbling around us. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, part of that article that you're referencing refers to the fact that consumers are more leery of big purchases. Doesn't mean they won't do them. They're more leery of them, and they're more careful and intentional about what kind of big purchases they make.
Yeah, so it's saying that, and I'm just going to throw this into your comments, 76% of adults are adjusting their purchases, right? Right now, they're sitting around thinking, okay, what do I need to do with my spending habits?
Yeah. which you go look at the boxes that solar checks and the fact that legitimately you're saving people money, you're giving them a long-term asset that increases the speed in which they can sell their home. It appreciates the house. It cuts their monthly costs. It does all of these things that are checking these boxes. So when people are being more thoughtful about a big purchase, solar fits so well into that dynamic of a more thoughtful purchase. But that advice, going more the 42 direction with it, of being more thoughtful on an individual level of your purchases, I think is a key takeaway here. Like if I'm giving everybody a 42 tip today, it's this: be more thoughtful. Heading into a recession, be more thoughtful. And I'm not saying that because I'm worried about your personal finances. You're in the right space in the right industry. You're in such a unique, blessed opportunity. Why I'm saying it is, when there is a recession, once again, this is the upside of the recession, things go on sale. The market is down 20, 30% and could get worse, right? What does that mean to me? That means those assets are on sale. I mean, for a decade, they haven't been, right? All we've seen is real estate getting more and more expensive.
Yeah, you think of some of the most popular stocks like you're talking about,
Yeah.
you know, the Apples and Teslas and Meta and all of that like, it's like, hey, I'm going to go invest in something that I believe in as a product, whatever that stock may be. And they have absolutely not been on sale, right?
Yeah.
And so those are on sale. I love you started heading into real estate. It's like that choice of, I've got $250,000 sitting in my bank account. And, you know, if that's you and you're blessed to be in that situation, and today I could go choose to go buy the Lamborghini for cash, right? Or I could potentially sit on that money and wait for a real estate deal to come up for sale. There become new opportunities that exist in that kind of market. And you have to be poised and ready to move on them quick.
Yeah, just within the last couple of weeks, I've been introduced to all sorts of kind of opportunities. I won't get into them, but anything from commercial buildings to, real estate opportunities where the real estate price is dropping. I mean, today, right now, this moment within the stock market, there are any number of stocks that I would deem as being on sale. Be more thoughtful about your purchases, because the reality is if you're in a strong cash vehicle in a recession and you're smart about the way you use that cash, it speeds up your timeline of building wealth dramatically, right? That dollar goes so much further in a recession when things are on sale that you can really multiply your wealth over the next couple of years as we're heading into this recession.
Yeah, so make sure your debt to income ratio is in a good place. Make sure your cash is in a good place for that. Yep. I love that you hit both sides of it, right? Like if I'm sitting across the table, I'm selling or presenting somebody solar, I need to go think about, if these articles are saying what they're saying and everybody's seeing the same thing, their mindset is there. They're already thinking about it. So positioning my pitch in a way that it's like, this is a smart decision for you moving into a recession because you're going to go save money, or utilities and everything else is rising. You save money, and then in my own spending. So I love that.
Right. So then you go look, okay, bull versus bear market, right? Heading into a bear market. And what does that do to solar as an industry? None of us have a crystal ball. We don't know for sure. But the reality of this space and why I think this remains such a strong cash vehicle for everybody is the simple fact that the problem isn't going away. Like rivers are still drying up, lakes are drying up. Weather is super erratic and all over the place. This massive problem of an outdated power grid, none of this is going away. And the hope behind all of it to go solve it is rooftop solar power. And you go look at some of these countries that are more advanced. There was an article this weekend that showed that Australia, for the first time, they went 6 hours completely independent of anything other than power from rooftop solar. The entire
That's
country,
wild, huh?
right? It's like crazy. They're further ahead than the U.S. That's where this is heading to solve the problem. So if you're looking at that from an opportunity standpoint, the U.S. has got a long ways to go
Well, and our saturation is still so low, right?
But
Like you'll pick Phoenix, Arizona, Maricopa County, they're 9%,
Yeah.
right? But it's deemed one of the most saturated counties in all of Arizona,
Yeah.
but it's at 9%. I mean, anything, it's at the beginning, right?
But when you already have groups out there countries operating at that level of renewable energy efficiency, that they're relying on renewable energy to that degree, it shows us and has paved the way for the future of it. And my belief is that the U.S. will become a leader in renewable energy. It's something that the U.S. I spent last weekend in D.C. and it's the first time I've ever been to the Capitol. Man, there's some strong emotions. You want to be proud to be an American, go spend some time out there in D.C. But we've led the way in so many ways for this world. And renewable energy is one of those ways where we need to be a leader. We need to be a global leader in this space. And so that opportunity, once again, is very real for us of where we can go get to and what we can be. Man, it's been fun to kind of transition. We've been in October. We've got a couple really big competitions going on right now. We got some fun numbers to review with everybody. Let's jump into the numbers. I'm gonna start out by going through our top closers for last week. Edwin, having his best month of his career, closed 7 deals last week. So Edwin Rodriguez, man, congrats.
Yes, fun to see him perform. It's
Those
awesome.
personal achievements, those are times and spaces that you don't forget. It'll be 10 years from now, and you're talking about that week, that month, that time when you were just dominating in your space in your career. So Edwin, nice work, brother. Jake Zimmer, another big week with 5. Jacob Shreve, 4. Briggs Bogle, love this guy, Briggs, man. He's such a stud. 4 accounts closed last week. Hunter Judd, 4. Paulo, 3. Tiago, 3. Stetson, 3. Tyler Bean, 3. Jared Russell, 3. Logan Wolf, 2. Brad Pugh, 2. Joshua, 2. Just keeps going. So really big week. Our best week in August was last week.
Yeah, I had some great performances by lead reps as well.
Yep.
Jordan Delgado, we've said his name almost all year long. He's kind of popped up. He's been up there at the top with 7 last week. So super impressive performance from you last week. Blake Harroldson, some of these are closers. So Blake Harroldson with 3, Tate Moser with 2, Maddox Arnett with 2, Braden McCauley with 2, Connor Heath with 2, Chris Egbert with 2, Dylan Bean with 2, and it goes on. But Jordan Delgado way out in front with 7. So an impressive performance from him last week.
Awesome. So I'm new to this Be Real app. This is a quick thing.
Is it happening?
It just happened.
This is perfect.
Like,
Hold on.
like, hey, get behind me. We got to do this right here. Branson, come on. You're in this shot too. We got to get a Be Real right now.
Come on.
Got it.
We've kind of nailed.
Hey, our first Be Real during a perspective. Come on. How's it get better than that? Loving this app. Here we go.
Be real.
Even my high school kids think I'm so trendy now.
Yes, you're in it.
I'm in it
to win it.
Hey, and I actually like the app. It's kind of fun. Like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, you kind of see a lot of people lounging around on couches. That's kind of what I've seen.
Yeah. Not at RDX Power.
Here we go.
All right, top teams for last week. An impressive performance by a couple groups. Team Arbor, they've been so big all year. And I could, I should spend all the time giving them some love because they've just been ridiculous. And the leadership there, the development, the amount of guys stepping into leadership positions, all of that is just uncanny. But I wanted to focus more on just a minute, this group from Team Exclusive. Had a phenomenal blitz. 16 accounts closed last week. They were the number 2 office in the entire company. So proud of those guys. Jared Russell, Austin Nilsson, Jordan Delgado, David Schertz, like that group of guys. Just an unbelievable group with Team Exclusive. Had a massive blitz. And those things to me, like you go flop on a blitz, it hurts your recruiting and your building efforts. You go kill it, it just adds fuel to the fire. More people come into the organization. The growth just hits a new level, a new trajectory.
Yeah. They have a great story to tell this year. Right behind them, Team Apex. They continue to come in, and then Jake Zimmer and team out there right behind those guys. So pretty cool to see each of those teams perform, and exclusive coming off a great summer and continuing to tell the story in Q4 of this year. So
when I look at the month of October, if we can really have a strong finish as we push towards the company trip, we could hit 250 around that mark. So we'll need a little bit of a push, but we're pacing for that number right now. It'd be really fun to go have 250 deals closed in the month of October.
Yeah, there's a handful of guys chasing the competition for October with duos. It's the coveted trip to Pebble Beach.
Yep.
We've seen it the last couple of years. Guys go out there. It's an unbelievable trip. And honestly, like, I don't know. You can go make a lot of money in October, right? Edwin, we've seen that. Jordan Delgado, some of these guys going to make a lot of money.
Yep.
But then to go reward themselves with a really cool trip to Pebble Beach,
I mean,
it's like the cherry on top.
Someone's going to have that story, right? Where they just won a trip to Pebble Beach. They're heading to a trip in Cancun, the company trip that's November 1st. Like, man, it's a pretty good life, right? Let's keep it there. The company trip's coming up. So excited about our location. Grateful for all of those who have worked so hard to earn it. Excited to go spend time and be there and be present with everybody. My wife and I are looking so forward to the trip. We've got a lot of people coming this year that did a great job in fighting and earning the incentive. So congratulations to all those who have earned it. And then let's go see how this duos plays out. These final rounds are always very competitive. It'll be really fun to see who can go take the W on this one.
Yeah, pretty excited for that. We have been working extremely hard for several months, working towards our own installs at RDX Power. And within the last couple of weeks have started putting deals on that platform. We have always prided ourselves in having optionality and having technology. It's extremely difficult to track and pull in all these different installers from all across the country. We have now added our own installer to that platform, building that out. So excited for everybody that has put in the effort towards that. And there's going to be a lot to talk about in the future, but last week put in 6 deals.
It's great
through RDX Power.
I mean, Nick's so humble about it, but the reality is you've been in the trenches, really starting this business. I mean, when you look at going from a sales only dealer program to an EPC, a construction company, it is a big jump, and it's a big pivot for an organization. I'm so proud of that group. We started onboarding jobs 2 weeks ago. We're seeing those jobs progress. We're getting close to our first install ever. So many moving pieces to that, from, you're buying your work trucks and your site survey vehicles, and you're getting warehouse, and all of those kind of things start to go into it. The type of partnerships that you need to have with finance companies and distribution networks. Everyone talks about the solar industry, that there's pretty low barriers to entry, and it is to a degree true for a sales co. But on the install side, it's absolutely not the case. You need to be well funded. You need to have a heavy background in operations. You've got to have really good people in your back office, which from day one, even as a sales entity, has been a strength for Radix. So to go back onto that strength and say, how can we go be a great EPC? Like a lot of the EPCs that we work with, how can we go be a great EPC, create a phenomenal customer experience? And that's the goal for RDX Power.
Yeah, I'm glad that you were saying that, because as the customer being our North Star, the trickle-down effect ultimately becomes a great recruiting experience for everybody else.
Yep.
Right? Jobs are going in clean. They're getting through the process. We're currently not rushing it. We're not trying to take more than what we can handle, but creating the right experience, not only for the rep, but also for the consumer. And then that way it allows everybody to go tell that story, right? Because one of the biggest pain points right now that exists in the space is the bottleneck on the install side of the business, right? It's getting flooded with sales reps, and there becomes this massive bottleneck. You always say it, every EPC is the best EPC until they have more volume than what they planned for and what they were ready for. And then they just get buried in it, right? Which is understandable, but that creates a tremendous bottleneck within the space that we felt like it was our duty, kind of getting back to the beginning of this, our duty to go create a phenomenal experience for the customer and allowing more people to have rooftop solar so that we can go, provide that experience not only for the reps, but also for the customer.
Well said. And with that, I'll kind of wrap it up here. It's like, I can't express how confident I am in how Radix is positioned right now. The story that we have as an organization within the renewable energy space, what we've done in our first 3 years of business, where we're currently situated, how flexible our platform is, the fact that we are doing our own installs and still have great install partners. That flexibility, optionality, mixed with the control and experience we can go provide for a customer is unparalleled.
Yeah.
The opportunity to go build your program, your group, your organization is so unique right now. And I just hope that everybody doesn't like sit back in any way. Like, you have to go take advantage of it. It's right there. It's happening right now. And the time is now to go capitalize on it. Man, we love the salespeople in our business, and we're so grateful for each one of you. We hope that you have a fantastic October, and we look forward to seeing a lot of you in Cancun. So thank you for tuning in for another episode of The Perspective.
Love you guys. Have a great week.